If you've been researching South Florida, chances are you've heard about Wilton Manors. It's often described as one of the most LGBTQ plus friendly cities in America. But that's only part of the story. What many people don't realize is that Wilton Manors has quietly become one of the most desirable places to live in all of Broward County, if not Florida, attracting everyone from retirees to remote workers to young professionals, investors, and families looking for something completely different than the typical South Florida suburb. In this video, I'm going to walk you through everything that you need to know before moving to Wilton Manors, including what it's really like to live here, home prices, different neighborhoods, the restaurant scene, nightlife, boating, taxes and insurance, and even some of the downsides that most real estate videos conveniently leave out. And make sure you stay until the end because I'm going to share with you one of the hidden gems that actually many time residents have never even experienced. So what exactly is Wilton Manors? So Wilton Manors is called the Island City. It's roughly about 12,000 people and approximately 2 square miles in size. So on average, it's definitely one of the smaller cities in South Florida. It's surrounded on 3 sides by the Middle River, creating its island city identity. And it was founded in the late 1940s. And it's developed quite differently than the remainder of Fort Lauderdale. It's really transitioned over the last 30 to 40 years into an internationally recognized LGBTQ plus destination for residents and vacationers alike. The city's culture is definitely interwoven in being incredibly diverse and incredibly welcoming to everyone. And it's evolved from a quiet residential community into one of the most recognizable LGBTQ plus destinations in the United States while still maintaining its neighborhood feel. Now, that reputation is certainly one reason people move here, but it's actually not the biggest reason that people choose Wilton Manors. All right, so we're gonna talk about the lifestyle in Wilton Manors. When people think about Wilton Manors, they often picture Wilton Drive, the restaurants, and nightlife, like when you're on vacation. And while those things are certainly a big part of the city's identity, what really makes Wilton Manors special is the lifestyle you experience every single day. I've helped buyers all over Broward County and really all over South Florida. And the one thing that I consistently hear from people that spend time here is that the city just feels different. It's not just because the homes are larger or older or newer. It's really about the atmosphere. Wilton Manors is one of the few communities in South Florida where you can truly enjoy a walkable lifestyle. Instead of getting in your car for everyday errands, it's common to walk to a coffee shop, meet friends for dinner, stop by a local boutique, or simply take an evening stroll, which I certainly have done many times. That may not sound like a big deal, but in a region where most communities are built around driving everywhere, it completely changes how you experience a neighborhood. The other thing that stands out in Wilton Manors is a strong sense of community. The city really has a reputation for being incredibly welcoming, inclusive, and friendly. Whether you've lived here for 20 years or you're visiting for the first time, it's a place where people tend to feel comfortable. I've had clients tell me that after just a few visits that they really could see themselves building a life here. And that's not something that a lot of people say about every single city. Of course, Wilton Manors is internationally recognized for its LGBTQ plus community, and that's an important part of its identity. But one thing I always like to point out is that the city attracts a very diverse group of residents. You'll find young professionals, retirees, entrepreneurs, artists, seasonal residents, and families who all appreciate the same thing: a central location, an active social scene, and a community where people genuinely enjoy living. Another advantage is the location. It can be convenient without feeling busy. Wilton Manors sits really in the middle of everything. You're minutes from downtown Fort Lauderdale, Las Olas Boulevard, Fort Lauderdale Beach, the airport, and some of Broward County's best shopping and dining. So while the city has its own unique personality, you're never far from everything else in South Florida. One thing that I've noticed after showing homes here is that buyers often come to Wilton Manors because they're curious about its reputation, but they end up falling in love with how comfortable it feels. There's an authenticity to this community that can be hard to explain until you actually experience it. People are just passing through, they're invested, people aren't just passing through, they're invested in the city, they support local businesses, and they genuinely enjoy being a part of the neighborhood. If this is your first time on the channel and you want to know everything about living in Fort Lauderdale or the surrounding cities like Wilton Manors or Oakland Park, then subscribe below so you can be the first to know about our current market here. My name is Hector Valdez, and I'm born and raised and have lived in South Florida my entire life. My team and I love helping people make their move to Fort Lauderdale, whether it's 9 days or 9 months. Feel free to reach out. Our goal is to help you find the community that truly fits your lifestyle, not just one that's getting the most attention online. Our contact information is in the description, and we'd be happy to help you make a smooth move to Wilton Manors, Fort Lauderdale, or anywhere in South Florida. So before we talk about homes and neighborhoods, I think it's important to understand why Wilton Manors has become a well-known destination, not just here in Florida, but really across the country and really across the world. When people think of LGBTQ+ communities, cities like San Francisco, Palm Springs, New York, or Provincetown usually come to mind. But what surprises many people is that this tiny city in Broward County is consistently mentioned alongside those much larger destinations. So depending on the study you're looking at, the rankings vary because each one measures different things: LGBTQ+ population, legal protections, community organizations like pride events, healthcare access, and municipal policies. But Wilton Manors is almost always a part of that conversation, according to theadvocate.com. And here's a statistic that always gets people's attention. What really puts Wilton Manors on the map comes from the US Census. After the 2010 census, Wilton Manors was recognized as having the highest percentages of same-sex households anywhere in the United States, earning the nickname the second gayest city in America. While demographics have naturally evolved over the years, it remains one of the country's most visible and established LGBTQ+ communities. I also think it's important to distinguish between popularity and policy. Every year, the Human Rights Campaign publishes its Municipality Equality Index, which evaluates city on criteria like non-discrimination laws, city services, employment protections, law enforcement practices, and municipal inclusiveness. Wilton Manors consistently earns a perfect score of 100 out of 100. And that's really impressive. And what's really impressive is that it's not alone. Several neighboring cities also receive perfect scores. So you have Wilton Manors, you have Oakland Park, and you have Fort Lauderdale. That says something really important. While Wilton Manors may be the cultural heart of South Florida's LGBTQ+ community, inclusivity extends well beyond its limits. Now, let's talk about Oakland Park, because I honestly think it's one of South Florida's most underrated cities, and I can speak to it because I'm actually a resident. Oakland Park sits immediately north of Wilton Manors, and over the past decade, it's experienced a remarkable transformation. The city has invested heavily in revitalizing its downtown district, encouraging new restaurants, breweries, mixed-use development, and public spaces while embracing diversity and inclusion. Like Wilton Manors, Oakland Park also received a perfect 100 on the Human Rights Campaign's Municipal Equality Index. It's become increasingly popular with buyers who love the Wilton Manors lifestyle but are looking for slightly larger homes, newer renovations, or a little bit more value for their money. Now, let's get into one of the biggest reasons people click on videos like this. What does it actually cost to live in Wilton Manors, and what kind of a home can you expect to buy? One of the things I love about Wilton Manors is that it doesn't feel like a giant master plan community. Every street has its own personality. You'll definitely find classic Florida ranch homes sitting next to beautifully renovated mid-century properties, modern, luxury, new construction, waterfront estates, townhomes, and even condos. It's a city with a lot of character, and that's something that's becoming harder and harder to find in South Florida. Let's start with single-family homes. That's what most buyers ask me about first. The majority of the homes in Wilton Manors were built during the 1950s and 60s when South Florida was experiencing tremendous growth. That means you'll see a lot of classic mid-century ranch-style homes with classic architectural lines, some terrazzo floors, large picture windows, open layouts that were ahead of their time. Many of the homes have been thoughtfully updated over the years with impact windows and doors, new roofs, modern kitchens, designer bathrooms, and resort-style outdoor living spaces, which include pools. Others remain largely original, giving buyers an opportunity to renovate and create something uniquely their own. One thing I really appreciate is that Wilton Manors doesn't feel repetitive. You don't drive through neighborhood after neighborhood seeing the same exact floor plan. Every home tends to have its own unique personality, which makes it really special. Compared to newer communities in South Florida, lot sizes here often are surprisingly generous and can vary. You'll commonly find homes and lots ranging from 7,000 to 10,000 square feet, with some waterfront properties offering even larger parcels. That gives homeowners enough space for pools, outdoor kitchens, tropical landscaping, and entertaining areas, which is exactly how many people want to enjoy South Florida living. One question I hear all the time is whether buyers should purchase an updated home or one that needs work. It really depends on you. If you buy a fully renovated property, you're going to be paying a premium for convenience. You'll likely have impact windows and other updates like electrical and plumbing systems, modern finishes, and they will be mainly move-in ready condition. On the other hand, purchasing an original home can create an opportunity to build equity over time. Many buyers enjoy taking a classic Florida home, modernizing it while preserving some of its original charm. I always encourage buyers to look beyond paint colors and finishes and focus on location, the floor plan, the condition of the major systems, and the neighborhood. Cosmetic updates are relatively easy, but location is something that you can never change. So now let's talk about something that many people dream about when they picture South Florida: waterfront living. One of the biggest surprises about Wilton Manors is just how many canal front homes there are, but it comes with a caveat. Because the city is surrounded by the Middle River, a number of neighborhoods offer waterfront properties with private docks and boat access. However, not all waterfront homes are exactly the same or created equal. There are different bridge clearances, varying canal widths, and different navigation routes depending on where the property is located. If you're a serious boater and you're planning to buy a larger vessel, it's extremely important to verify things like bridge heights, water depth, and your route to the Intercoastal Waterway before making an offer on a potential home. This can catch many people in Wilton Manors by surprise because most of the homes have limited access with regards to getting out to the Intercoastal, and most of the bridges are fixed and are pretty low-lying. So something to keep in mind. Some buyers simply want a beautiful water view, while others truly need ocean access for boating. Those are two very different conversations, and it's something I spend a lot of time discussing with clients. So if you want something with more of a larger vessel, you may have to defer to something over to Fort Lauderdale because Wilton Manors is not exactly built for something like that. Although Wilton Manors has plenty of charming mid-century homes, the luxury market has seen tremendous growth over the last decade. We're seeing more contemporary custom homes with dramatic architectural features such as soaring ceilings, oversized kitchens, floor-to-ceiling glass, resort-style pools, outdoor kitchens, and integrated smart home technology. Many of these homes are being built on waterfront lots, creating a level of luxury that's comparable to some of Fort Lauderdale's most desirable neighborhoods, but often with a more intimate community feel. Now, let's switch gears and talk about condos. If you're relocating from another state and you're looking for lower maintenance, Wilton Manors has a wide selection of condo options and condo communities. Most were built between the 60s and the 80s, although some are kind of newer boutique developments as well. Condos can be seen as an excellent option for seasonal residents, retirees, first-time homebuyers, or anyone who simply wants to not spend their weekends maintaining a yard. That being said, condo ownership in Florida has changed significantly over the past couple of years. And there is quite a bit of diversity in Wilton Manors in terms of those condo options. For example, there is a development called Wilton Station that was built in the mid-2000s that offers townhomes and more traditional condos with kind of more luxurious amenities. And then Lennar is actually building a brand new construction townhome development that's located right on 26th Street and pretty close to Wilton Drive as well. As a realtor, one of the biggest pieces of advice I can give buyers is this: don't just look at the monthly HOA fee. You want to review the association's financial health reserve funding, insurance coverage, maintenance history, and any upcoming assessment, which can catch you completely off guard. Since the changes to South Florida's condo safety laws, many associations have increased reserve funding to meet new requirements. That's generally a positive thing because it helps maintain a building over long term, but it can affect your carrying costs. Townhomes have become increasingly more popular because they offer something between a condo and a single-family home. They often feature modern floor plans, attached garages, multiple bedrooms, private outdoor space, and significantly less maintenance than a detached home. For professionals who travel frequently, second home buyers, or anyone looking for a lock and leave lifestyle, a townhome can be an outstanding option. And there's definitely nice options in terms of townhomes throughout Wilton Manors. There's Townhouse Isle, which features kind of a mix of different developments, and most of them were built essentially from the 1980s back. And then there's a couple that are located just off of Wilton Drive, built kind of in the mid-2000s to the late 2000s, and offer different architectural styles from super modern to more Key West to more Mediterranean. So there's a really nice mix in that particular district, located over by 8th Avenue, just off of Wilton Drive. I often get asked if Wilton Manors is a good investment. While no one can predict future appreciation, Wilton Manors has several characteristics that tend to support long-term demand. Limited land available for new development, a highly desirable central location, strong year-round buyer demand, international recognition, walkability, waterfront properties, and a unique lifestyle that is difficult to duplicate elsewhere. When you combine limited inventory with consistent demand, you have a market that historically remained very resilient compared to many surrounding areas. One thing I've noticed after helping clients purchase homes here is that many initially move to Wilton Manors because of the location or the lifestyle, but they stay because of the community. I've had buyers tell me that they plan to live here for just a few years before moving elsewhere, to a larger city in some instances. Yet years later, they're still here because they've built friendships and discovered favorite restaurants and found local businesses they love and truly feel connected to the neighborhood. I think that's one of the biggest compliments you can give any city. Now, if owning a home is the only part of the equation, let's talk about what everyday life is actually like here. From brunch spots to coffee houses, nightlife, entertainment, and why Wilton Drive has become one of the most recognizable streets in all of South Florida. So let's talk about one of the biggest reasons people fall in love with Wilton Manors, and that's the lifestyle. You can buy a beautiful home almost anywhere in South Florida, but it's much harder to find a place where you can actually leave your car behind, walk to dinner, grab coffee, meet friends for drinks, and enjoy live entertainment all in the same evening. That's exactly what makes Wilton Manors so unique. Everything really revolves around one street, Wilton Drive. If you've ever been here before, imagine a downtown that's compact, walkable, beautifully landscaped, and filled with locally owned businesses instead of chain stores. Wilton Drive isn't just the main road through town. It's the city's living room. It's where people meet friends after work, celebrate birthdays, enjoy Sunday brunch, walk their dogs, or simply sit outside with a cup of coffee and people watch. One of my favorite things about Wilton Drive is that it has energy almost all day long. In the morning, you see people grabbing coffee, walking their dogs, or heading to the gym. Around lunchtime, the outdoor patios start to fill up, and by evening, the entire street comes alive with restaurants, music, nightlife, and people really enjoying everything the community has to offer. For a city that's about 2 square miles, the restaurant scene is honestly impressive. You'll find everything here from casual cafes, burger joints to upscale dining, and international cuisine, and some fantastic brunch spots. And because some of those restaurants are independently owned, each one has its own unique personality. If you're visiting for the first time, here are a few that come up consistently in conversations with both locals and visitors. Rosie's Bar and Grill, probably one of the most recognizable restaurants in Wilton Manors. It's known for its lively patio, casual atmosphere, weekend brunch, and people watching. Ethos Greek Bistro, one of the area's most popular Mediterranean restaurants, known for fresh seafood, authentic Greek dishes, and an upscale but almost relaxed atmosphere. Union Kitchen and Bar, a favorite for date night and elevated American cuisine with craft cocktails. Proof Wilton Manors, one of the newer additions to the drive, blending creative food with a stylish social atmosphere. Tropics Grill, well known for combining dinner with nightly cabaret performances, live music, and drag entertainment. What I love most is the variety. One night you can be enjoying authentic Greek food, the next you're having a Peruvian cuisine, sushis, tapas, French cuisine, Italian food, or simply grabbing a gourmet burger. There really isn't one dominant style of dining here, which is really nice. I also think Wilton Manors has one of the best outdoor dining scenes in Broward County. Most restaurants feature patios and sidewalk seating, and it creates a very social atmosphere. Especially during our cooler months, roughly from November through April, you'll see patios packed almost every evening. People linger here. Dinner isn't rushed. Friends stop to say hello, neighbors recognize one another, and it feels much more like a neighborhood than a tourist district. If there's one meal Wilton Manors takes seriously, it's brunch. Weekend brunch is practically a tradition here. Many restaurants have long waits on Saturdays and Sundays because it's become such a social event. You'll see friends of groups gathering, couples celebrating birthdays, visitors exploring the city, and residents who have been coming to the same restaurant every weekend for years. It's one of those little things that really contributes to the community feel. Now, let's be honest, if you're looking for luxury shopping like you'll find at Bar Harbor Shops or the Design District in Miami, that's not really what Wilton Manors is all about. Instead, shopping here focuses on local businesses. Along Wilton Drive, you'll find boutique clothing stores, art galleries, home decor shops, gift stores, specialty food markets, jewelry stores, wellness businesses, salons, and spas. For example, you can browse unique gifts at To the Moon, explore local artwork at Claudia Castillo Art Studio, or shop at independent boutiques like Mixed Menswear or Ball. For everyday needs, shopping centers like 5 Points Plaza provides grocery stores, pharmacies, banking, fitness, and other conveniences just minutes away. I actually think that's part of Wilton Manors' charm. It encourages you to support small business instead of feeling like every shopping center is identical. Wilton Manors isn't only a nighttime destination. Throughout the day, you'll find coffee shops filled with remote workers, entrepreneurs holding meetings, and retirees reading the newspaper, and residents simply enjoying a relaxed pace. It gives the city an active daytime energy that's very different from communities where everything shuts down until dinner. Now, let's talk about what Wilton Manors is probably best known for, its nightlife. I'll say this right up front. Even if nightlife isn't your thing, it's actually not mine, it's still worth understanding because it's such an important part of the city's identity. Wilton Drive has become one of the premier LGBTQ+ entertainment districts in the United States. And what makes it special isn't the number of venues, it's the variety. You'll find everything from relaxed cocktail lounges to neighborhood pubs to high-energy dance clubs, live music, cabaret shows, drag performances, karaoke nights, trivia, themed events, and outdoor festivals. Some of the well-known venues are Hunter's Nightclub, the Manor Complex, The Well, Drink, Bar and Lounge, Tropics Grill for live cabaret and music. What I appreciate is that each venue has its own personality. Some are great for dancing until 2 a.m., while others are perfect if you simply want to enjoy a cocktail on the patio with friends. But Wilton Manors isn't just busy on Friday and Saturday nights. Throughout the year, the city hosts countless events, including art walks, food festivals, holiday celebrations, and of course the internationally recognized Stonewall Pride Parade and Street Festival, which draws tens of thousands of visitors every single year. These events don't just attract tourists, they bring the local community together and reinforce why so many people say Wilton Manors feels more like a neighborhood than a city. So who will love this lifestyle? I think this lifestyle is perfect for someone who values experiences over square footage. If you love trying new restaurants, meeting friends without driving across town, walking to coffee on a Saturday morning, enjoying live entertainment, and supporting local businesses, Wilton Manors is hard to beat. On the other hand, if your ideal weekend revolves around shopping malls, big box retailers, or chain restaurants, you may find yourself driving to nearby Fort Lauderdale, Oakland Park, or Boca Raton for those options. The lifestyle here is incredible, but every community has its trade-offs. So before you pack your bags, let's talk about a few things buyers should know that doesn't always make it into the glossy Instagram videos. So let's talk about some of the cons. Wilton Manors has smaller homes with compared to some of the HOAs in Western Broward, so you have to take that into account. The lots, although sometimes can be generous, they can also be very small. It is a more urban It is a more urban environment. So if you're looking for these kind of grand vistas and these long drives like you get in Weston with lots of greenery, you're not going to find that in Wilton Manors. The housing stock is older, so a lot of times those homes are going to need a lot more updates. You have cast iron pipes, which can be a problem, older roofs, you may have termites, etc., or older windows as well. So it does require more money to update these homes. The majority, although not all of Wilton Manors, is located in the flood zone. So if you buy a home in Wilton Manors, there's about a 50-50 chance that you may actually need flood insurance, and that can add an additional cost to your insurance premiums. Wilton Manors also has very limited inventory because we are a bit locked up in terms of what's available. Sometimes the availability of homes can be a bit more limited or can be a little bit more of a premium price because everyone wants to be in Wilton Manors. If you're looking for a master planned, brand new construction community, you're not going to find that in Wilton Manors. It is definitely more of a mixed neighborhood in terms of types of construction. So you might get a 1950s home next to a brand new luxury home next to a 1970s home. So it is a little bit more chopped up in terms of that. Even with those drawbacks, there's one thing that keeps people here for decades. Why do people rarely leave Wilton Manors? Now, here's something that I've noticed over and over again. People may discover Wilton Manors because of the nightlife, the LGBTQ plus community, or the walkability, but they usually stay because of the way the city makes them feel. It can really feel like a real community. In a lot of South Florida, people live near each other but don't necessarily know each other. I've certainly had that experience. Wilton Manors is different. You see people all the time in coffee shops, restaurants, gyms, dog parks, community events, and neighborhood meetings. Over time, those casual encounters turn into real relationships. I certainly have experienced that. There's a Starbucks here in Wilton Manors that I frequent, and I've made friends there over time. And it's great because I actually just made. That matters, especially for relocation buyers. When you're moving from another state, you're not just buying a home, you're trying to rebuild your everyday life. Wilton Manors makes that easier. One of the reasons people feel so connected here is because they're not always isolated in their cars. You can walk to dinner, brunch, drinks, coffee, the gym, the market, or a community event. That changes the way people interact. When you're walking instead of driving from garage to garage, you naturally run into people. You stop, you talk, you become part of the rhythm of the neighborhood. Inclusivity is a part of everyday life. For many LGBTQ plus buyers, Wilton Manors offers something incredibly valuable: the ability to just exist comfortably. It's not about one event or one street, it's about seeing representation in local government, businesses, community, organizations, nightlife, and everyday life. That sense of belonging is hard to measure in a real estate report, but it's one of the biggest reasons people stay. The location is really hard to replace. Wilton Manors gives you a small city feel, but you're minutes from everything. You're close to Fort Lauderdale Beach, Las Olas, downtown Fort Lauderdale, Flagler Village, Oakland Park, and the Brightline Station, and the Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International Airport. And not to mention Port Everglades. That combination is rare. You get neighborhood charm without feeling disconnected from the rest of South Florida. Homes really do have character. Another reason people stay is that Wilton Manors doesn't feel cookie cutter. Many homes have mid-century charm, tropical landscaping, pools, patios, courtyards, waterfront views, and unique renovations. Even when people renovate, they often preserve the personality of the home. For buyers who are tired of identical floor plans and gated communities that all look the same, Wilton Manors feels refreshing. People really have built routines here that they don't want to give up. And that is something I hear all the time. People move here and before they know it, they have their spots. Their favorite brunch place, their regular coffee shop, their preferred gym, their dog park, their happy hour spot, their neighbors that they wave to every morning. Those small routines are what turn a city into a home. And there's always something happening here. Wilton Manors has energy, but it's not overwhelming. You have pride events, art walks, holiday celebrations, etc., all throughout the year. Downsizing when you move to Wilton Manors does not feel like downgrading. For a lot of buyers coming from larger homes, especially retirees or empty nesters, Wilton Manors offers a different kind of upgrade. They may choose a smaller home, condo, or townhome, but gain walkability, social connection, entertainment, and convenience. So even if the square footage is smaller, the lifestyle feels bigger. Wilton Manors has a long-term emotional value. Real estate is usually discussed in terms of price, appreciation, taxes, and insurance. All of that matters, but Wilton Manors also has emotional value. People stay because they feel seen, connected, safe, and engaged. And when a city gives you that, it becomes very difficult to replace. So when people ask me why Wilton Manors has such a strong demand, the answer isn't just real estate. It's a combination of community, identity, lifestyle, and location. And that's why people come here, and that's why so many people rarely leave. So remember at the beginning of the video, I talked to you about a hidden gem? So I wanted to mention Collahatchee Park. This particular park is actually pretty neat. You can do kayaking if you like to get right on the water. So you can kayak right on the Middle River and kayak all the way around the Middle River, all through Wilton Manors. And this is a great point to start at. You also have the mangroves. So you have this elevated boardwalk where you can walk through. It's really beautiful. The trails are really pretty. And it's kind of like a nice natural side of Wilton Manors that a lot of people aren't even aware of. And it's a completely different experience, especially when you come off the energy of Wilton Drive. And it really showcases the natural beauty of South Florida. And a lot of people miss it. If this is your first time on the channel and you want to know everything about living in Fort Lauderdale, Wilton Manors, Oakland Park, or other surrounding cities, then subscribe below so you can be the first to know about our current market here. My name is Hector Valdez. I'm born, raised, and have lived in South Florida my entire life. My team and I love helping people make their move to Fort Lauderdale, whether it's 9 days or 9 months. Feel free to reach out. Our goal is to help you find the community that truly fits your lifestyle, not just one that's getting the most attention online. Our contact information is in the description, and we'd be happy to help you make a smooth move to Fort Lauderdale. See you in the next video.